Thanks to Rippy today, I have plenty of energy to do a little bit more of this travesty. After another exciting day on the scanner, never a dull moment over there, boy. You know, I like the new Trimet policy of allowing bus drivers to be exclusion officers. It's a great policy. Bus drivers, based on their own judgment of people, get to exclude riders now, and then they put out these messages, do not board, they're banned. There's so many banned riders out there, you know. I don't know how that came to pass and why it's allowed, but it's the way it is, folks. You can be banned by an operator. You don't need any more actual document. You don't need a supervisor to give you an interdiction command. You can just be thrown off the bus, you know. Okay, based on the word of an operator. And I, personally, having been a bus driver for many years of my life, not the majority of my working life, but 20 years I was working, about half my working life I spent doing that. And a lot of those people, I would not trust their judgments. But nevertheless, I'm just making a comment. In the New World Order, where government runs everything and there's no appeal, government is king and executioner, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I know, I feel bad for the operators. I know what they're dealing with, but, you know, you got to have a little heart too, man. You really got to have a little heart. You know, people are like in crisis. You can't just leave them there. You just can't do it. Although I guess you can do it because you are doing it, but I could never do that. I was always a bleeding heart kind of guy. All right, let's get back to the clown show called the Trimet Board and see if we can finish it up here. Let's see. Maybe we can get done with it.
Simmons is a well-established company.
Oh, yeah, they're buying some machine for like $5 million. Yeah, whatever.
Reputation for this work. They have 175 employees, 7.5% of whom identified as minority and 10% as female. Simmons will manufacture the machines and then use subcontractors for the installation. So this morning I recommend of this resolution. And with me today is our rail equipment maintenance director, Dan Blair. He's here if you have any technical questions.
This is going to be our new chairman, her.
Thank you.
This woman here will be the new chairman of the board. I'm going to do a post just on the accomplishments of Bruce Warner. All you new people that weren't here during the McFarlane years, you don't realize what people like me went through when the union busting came in. For all these years, Trimet executives in the union were always got along. There was only one time in the 80s when they were when the part-timers came in, there was almost a strike over that. They didn't want part-timers. In the 80s, that was a Reagan. See, it all started in the 80s. That's where all of the stealing all the money back from the middle class started. That was the only time there was an actual labor, almost a strike. And then the union and the executive class got along fine, and it was like everybody was getting their fair share of the pie. Well, that's over now. Only the executives get the fair share of the pie now. Just like, you know, it's all the elites now have taken over everything, and we're lucky to get anything, you know. We're just lucky to get anything anymore. So anyway, she's going to be the chairwoman of the board, and I thought that it would be that other woman, what's Laurie Bauman, because Laurie Bauman is the vice chair, and she seems more qualified, but for whatever reason, they gave it her, so she should be interesting to watch, because she's such a goofy little thing, but she could be fun, you know. She's kind of fun to watch, you got to admit.
Great, thank you, Sam. Why don't we get a resolution or a motion on the table on this resolution? Is there a motion to approve resolution 21-06-37?
Yeah, give them all. Here it is, $3.9 million. What the hell? And with an extra $700,000.
So moved.
Give them the money. Just give it to them. Give them a check today. Here, take it.
Who?
Give them their check. Give it to them in cash. Here, have the guy come in, hand out. Here's your $4 million.
Keith.
Keith, thank you very much. All right.
Why are you wearing a bow tie, Keith? What, are you trying to impress us?
We may have some questions here. Do you have questions for Sam or the staff on this one?
No.
I have seen this piece of equipment in operation. It's pretty amazing. So it's critical.
Why don't we have a video of the goddamn equipment in operation? I'd like to see it. What kind of machine costs $4 million? What the fuck is it? Jesus, that's more than a train, isn't it? How much are a train? I don't even know.
Well, we have this piece of equipment. So, questions?
My only question is typically, we encourage, under the diversity piece, we encourage our contractors, our vendors to use subcontractors that are qualified under DBE if they're available. And that has not.
No, they're $15 million each. Okay. This will only buy 1/3 of a light rail car. $15 million for one light rail car. Can you believe that?
Been mentioned here, and so I just wanted to ask that question. Has that been suggested or encouraged to the contractors that can use as their subcontractors that are going to be doing the installations that they are DBE?
Yes, everything is disadvantaged now. Everything is political correct. Everything is that. Look, I'm all in favor of affirmative action, but let's not go overboard here where every single decision is based on that. What about competence and price and things like that, like actual business decisions made on business facts?
Employers.
Yeah, thanks, Director Edwards. Let me go back here. So I know the company has 175 employees and 7.5% are minority, 10 is female, but I did not get a printout on the subs that they're using. So
weren't you listening, Edwards? They're the only people that make the goddamn machine. They're the only ones that can make it. Rippy's funny. It's funny.
Let me go to Les Spittler. He's on with us. Any update there on the subs?
Yeah, good morning, Sam. We'll have to follow up and get that information back to the board. We don't have, I don't have the information on the subs at this moment. It's okay.
Okay, thank you.
But it is fair to say that the board always encourages our contractors to use DBs and minority contractors whenever they can. So I think just extending to them that that's the desire and what we'd like to see them do is really important as they draft their response and get back to us. So if I'm understating that or overstating that, Keith, let me know.
No, you're right on point. Thank you very much, President Warren.
And just to emphasize in this particular contract, sometimes there's manufacturers. It sounds like here's a case where we have a manufacturer that produces something that we don't necessarily have a bunch of options for. And in many cases, they own a lot of the supply chain and the installation because they must, not everybody knows how to work with their stuff. So I understand that sometimes those things do occur. We're in one of those industries where some vendors don't have, or some products don't have a lot of vendors for them. Nevertheless, there's opportunities for community benefits. So even if it's not in the subcontracting information we get, we typically in these proposals will get information about the workforce that makes up that particular entity. So if it's a high self-performing contract, it would still be good to know the sort of community benefit they have through the workforce that they employ. Those are fantastic information points, especially for what sounds to me like a long-standing vendor here in, I believe it sounds like a U.S. company. Just taking a leap there.
I think he's so cute. I think he's cute, don't you? I mean, I'm not gay or anything.
Your comments?
He's cute. He's just cute.
I just had a quick question.
Please.
Sorry.
Look at that
Hard to
smile.
see people on the screen. My question was just around the longevity of this particular machine. I was reading through the resolution and I didn't know what was the lifespan, I guess, is another word of this. And when
Hey, it's Kathy. We haven't heard anything from her today. Have you noticed? Nothing. This is the first time we've heard from her today.
would need a potential replacement, if it's several decades from now, or just what that time frame would look like.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Director Way. So I'm going to bring in Dan. He's our technical expert here. Dan, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dan, not
the
Dan.
life of this machine is considered at about 30 years, but that's assuming a 15-year overhaul period at the midlife.
Okay, Dan, thank you. Were you not listening, people? There's only one place that makes the damn thing. Okay, it's not like they have a choice. They don't. This company has a monopoly on this.
Okay, that's great. And do you, I guess just as a follow-up, would you see any advancements in technology that that we might want to consider after the 15-year mark? It's just not an area of expertise for me, so I'm just trying to wrap my head around when we would need to repurchase, and if there are new technology that we should be exploring further down the road.
The technology piece is actually a very important portion of the midlife overhaul, because the actual bulk of the cost is the replacement of the electronics. As you know, lifespan of electronics is measured in years, not decades. So at the 15-year point, this is going to be ancient technology and upgraded at that time. A good example of this would be the Elmonica machine, which was overhauled about 3 years ago, and all the electronics and computer controls were replaced along with the mechanical overhaul.
Right, boy, yeah, big money. Money. Luckily, you got tons of money over there for this shit.
Hey, Sam, this is Taylor. I was able to dig through and found some information on the installation of the machine, and it looks like Simmons self-performs all of the work. They have technicians that they'll deploy, and they have their own engineers that will come out and make sure it's installed appropriately. So they don't plan on subcontracting any of the installation work.
One size fits all for Simmons.
Thanks for the update.
Okay, great, thank you.
So Simmons will install and
Simmons
train
manufacturing.
and not use subcontractors.
Let's see.
All right, so more
There's
questions?
a lot of Simmons out here. I can't.
Not hearing any.
Wait a minute. Simmons.
Ready for a vote then? All those, I think, in favor of the
Simmons machine.
motion to approve resolution 21-06-37, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
There.
Aye.
Aye.
Simmons machine.
Any opposed?
Okay. Simmons machine. Here they are. They don't have a website? Simmons machine. Wait. Oh, wait a minute. They do. Let me. Hold on a minute. All right. Okay. Stop the press for a minute. Let's do we'll do a little research here. Okay, let's see, history. Here it is. Wow, look at that place. Holy shit. Look, they got flags from all the... This is international conglomerate here. There's a train. Look at it go. Looks like a great job, huh? King of Wheel Tunes. All right, man. Simmons doesn't mess around, dude. All right, back to the show.
Any abstentions? The motion is approved unanimously. Thank you very much.
President Warner,
Yes.
I apologize. I have to take off. Thank you, board members. I apologize as well, and the general manager and staff. Bruce, I will be in touch with you. And again, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Okay.
Correct. All right, let's go on into the final resolution, which is Resolution 21-06-38, which is authorizing a contract with Transdev Services, Inc., Transdev for Lyft.
Now, wait a minute. So they're giving this is important. I wondered about this. They're changing the contract to operate the Lyft buses from, what was it, First Transit to Transdev?
Transportation Services. This is a big deal, I think. So, Mr. General Manager.
So, President Warner and Board, this is our last resolution before you today, which authorizes the execution of a contract with Transdev Services, Inc. For our Lyft Paratransit transportation services. As you remember, Lyft provides service to people within our Trimet service district who have disabilities or health conditions that prevent them from using our fixed route service. It's a door-to-door service that meets or exceeds the ADA standards. Since 1980, Trimet has contracted with an independent company that then provides the personnel, operators, maintenance, and dispatchers for Lyft. First Transit has served Trimet since 2004 in this role, and their contract expires this year. Trimet issued a request for
So it was First Transit, and they're switching to Transdev.
Proposal for these Lyft Paratransit services in February of this year. Trimet received 3 proposals, one from First Transit, another from MV Transportation.
All this shit should be in-house, by the way, but Trimet, being the neoliberal organization that it is, who's committed to making money for the elites, they contract out to these international conglomerates. This is how the elites maintain their elitism. They get all these government contracts. So all the money that would be paid to the Lyft employees in benefits goes to Transdev. Okay, if these people were in-house, they would have a better working wages, but it's contracted out. So all the money that they don't get by being in-house goes to Transdev. This is neoliberalism. This is what's killing our society.
And then a third from Transdev. The evaluation committee ranked the firms on qualifications, key staff, and diversity, and then understanding of the work and pricing. Understanding of the work included recruitment and retention practices, customer service and training, and diversity and inclusion practices. A former customer standout or standpoint here, and also other sub-criteria. Transdev also ranked exceptionally higher than the other two. Transdev's parent company is Transdev's North America. It's the largest private sector operator of multiple modes of transit in North America. It manages over 200 transportation contracts for cities, transit authorities, and airports. It is also a leader in providing paratransit and non-emergency medical transport in the United States. Among these reasons that Trimet rose above the other firms, the selection committee noted a highly skilled management team, a more progressive and collaborative approach to service delivery.
Well, I don't know. Let's find out about
Added technology
transgender.
included a router quality assurance app to make for a better customer experience, additional training content and hours, and better sensitivity around interacting with people experiencing disabilities. TransDev workforce is 80% minority,
80.
33%
Did you say 80% minority? Did you say
female.
Did you say 80? Go
The
back.
top North America, it's the largest private sector operator of multiple modes of transit in North America. It manages over 200 transportation contracts.
All right, let's here we have. I'm looking at the Indeed.com site, and here's the ratings breakdown. 5 stars, 366 people. 4 stars, 408 people. 3 stars, 409 people. 2 stars, 200 people, and 1 star, 316 people. So it's kind of the middle of the one. I always love these reviews. And as with all of these reviews, you get some that are really great and some that are really bad. But it's like on Indeed, it's like a 3. So it's average. It's not horrible. So
cities, transit authorities, and airports. It is also a leader in providing paratransit and non-emergency medical.
They can't really be any worse than First Transit, I suppose. First Transit was horrible. Now that's $200 million there. Well, it's over 6 years, of course, but it's still $200 million.
Transport in the United States. Among these reasons that Trimet rose above the other firms, the selection committee noted a highly skilled management team, a more progressive and collaborative approach to service delivery.
How do you know that, man?
Added technology included a router quality assurance app to make for a better customer experience, additional training content and hours, and better sensitivity around interacting with people experiencing disabilities. TransDev workforce is 80% minority, 33% female.
He did say 80% minority.
The top 3 executive positions are held by a woman.
See, now, they always have to come to this. I don't like this, okay? I'm sorry. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a Trumper. Don't log me in with... But I don't like that this is the only classification. You know what they're going to do here? They're setting up... You can't just go by this, you know? You can't do it. It's like the reverse of affirmative action or something. It's like, I mean, for crying out loud, man.
Women, I'm sorry. And the CEO, General Counsel, and COO of Alternative Services are all women. The contracts...
Who cares? What the hell is that supposed to mean? Why do we care about that?
Will be just over $203 million.
Yeah, no kidding.
Over 6 years. The first year of the contract amount is accounted for in our FY 2022. Your approval is requested. Today, I have with me the Director of Accessible Transportation Programs, Margot Moore, and also Manager Eileen Collins are here with anything technical, any questions about the process they can answer.
Thank you, Mr. General Manager. I'd like to get a motion on the table to approve Resolution 21-06-38 and then get into questions. So is there a motion to approve this resolution?
Okay. Warren just wants to get this over with.
Okay. Is there a second?
Laverne seconds.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's start with whoever wants the first question. I know there's going to be some.
No,
This is Eileen Collins. I'm happy to field any questions that come up around this contract.
Do we I have a first question, I think.
Okay, please.
Do
Ozzy,
we
go.
have an existing contract with TransDev currently?
No.
And if
We do not.
Or would this be a first time that we have entered?
Come on, Ozzy. Come on. You don't know this. Even I know this.
This would be the first time.
Even I know the answer to this, Ozzy. Shit. You're the board member. You're supposed to know this shit.
Margo.
Who's Margo Moore?
The first time for Trimet. However, when I was actually working King County Metro contract up in Seattle, I did have an opportunity to work with them. At that time, their name was Veolia. They've now changed over to TransDev, but they are an incredible company when it comes to transportation.
They're an international conglomerate, man.
Thank you. That the name Veolia rings a bell. So could you speak to what their presence is currently then within Oregon, within the metro region?
None.
They don't currently have a contract in the metropolitan region, but at 200 properties throughout the United States, they have a strong presence. And we could provide you a list of other properties that they are currently serving the paratransit function at, if you would like. Be happy to get that for you.
Oh, thank you. Very exciting. This is an exciting opportunity for them to expand into this region. I'm excited to see what happens. There's a lot of need for better transit, and they're going to be hiring, I'm guessing. So really excited to see what happens.
Thank you.
Well, they can't be any worse than First Transit. I look at it like that. They can't be any worse than First Transit. First Transit was bad. So this could be a good thing for the people over there. I continue to maintain they should be in-house employees. They shouldn't be getting screwed like this. But this is America.
Margo and Eileen, we did involve our CAT committee in conversations. We talked a little bit about that, about Jane Campbell's involvement in the team as well.
Yes, we did. Sorry.
Go ahead. That's fine.
We did review this change with our Committee on Accessible Transportation at the meeting last week, and there were no questions from the group. We'll just make sure that that TransDev is actively engaged with our Committee on Accessible Transportation, which has always been our past practice with our contractor, to have them front and center with the committee to make sure that we're continuing to meet the needs of our community.
All right.
So this is Bruce. I have a question. It's obviously they rank very highly compared to the current and other contenders in this.
See, even he knew the answer. Yes, he's right. Okay, the First Transit is horrible. They did a terrible job.
This is going to take some change or a transition time. Could you talk to me about kind of the timing and how long for the new contractor to actually take charge?
They just take over they take over the management. That's all. There's really not that much to it.
Kind of what the plan is, because this is obviously going to be require a lot of coordination, I assume.
Yes, you make absolutely accurate assumptions. We have a 3-month transition period planned. First Transit extended we did a 3-month extension to their current contract to take us into the end of September this year. And as soon, I know that there is a representative of TransDev listening in here, so I'm guessing as soon as, and if the resolution is passed, we will immediately start working on what that transition plan looks like. They stipulated in their response to the RFP that they are committed to retaining existing operators. And so they'll take on that hiring process and ensure that we continue to have the best of the best representing Trimet and serving our community.
Yeah, the best of the best.
And there's a different structure they have than what we have currently utilized with First Transit. So we're eager to see how we can make that transition more rapidly. And our team at Lyft on the operations side has already started to pull together all of the policies, procedures, onboarding that we are aware of so that we can help ease in that transition process.
So if I heard that right, so within 3 months they will be in charge?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
We are all excited.
A quick question.
question that I have just to the folks here is just around sort of that piece around onboarding and training, since this is a new contractor that we're working with. And I think I'm specifically looking for how we can also, include them into the conversations around diversity, equity, inclusion,
don't give me that.
making sure that
Give me this
our
diversity.
customers and our passengers especially feel safe and feel supported. Can you provide any details as to how we will, do that onboarding and training piece? I guess that will take place hopefully in the earlier months when they come on board. But I just wanted to highlight that. I think that is an important piece whenever we bring in new folks to help serve our ridership.
We couldn't agree with you more. That was specifically one area that we really emphasized and underscored the importance of a really comprehensive training curriculum around cultural sensitivity, all of the other protected classes of sensitivity. Our riders all experience disability in one form or another, and they may have compounding factors with low income, and being in an underserved population that we found to be very critically lacking, I think, in how we had been providing service historically. And so we really pushed hard to get in a more comprehensive curriculum, and that curriculum will be what we start reviewing with them once the contract, once and if the contract is approved. So thank you for underscoring that with us as well.
Great, thank you.
All right, well, whatever. Who cares?
I guess I just have one other question. One of the things we've seen is seems like there's been some friction between First Transit and ATU.
Yeah.
Is ATU up to speed?
First Transit was horrible. They were horrible. They were horrible.
On all the changes that we're making here, and have they been engaged at all in dialogue with you?
No.
They have not been engaged.
They have not been.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are aware.
They're aware, but they're not engaged. Yeah, because you don't include them in anything. They don't include the union in anything. They're just there. And the union executive officers, they don't care. They're making their big fat checks, so what do they care?
Of the RFP that went out in the process that we went through and where we are at this
Sure, they have no objections because
Great, thank you.
First Transit was so fucking
If I may add, they are also actively working with First Transit right now on what that transition looks like, and Transit has committed to working with them on that transition as well.
Thanks.
Good riddance to First Transit.
Other questions by the board?
Why waste your time? Just vote. You're going to vote yes. So
I'm going to call the question. All those in favor of the motion to approve Resolution 21-06-38, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion is approved unanimously. This is an exciting change. Thank you very much to the staff and the board for this one.
What
look
treat
forward
you
to
got
seeing
today?
all this, how this is implemented over the next few months. All right, Mr. General Manager, Board, I don't see anything else to come before us today. We have no ordinances. We have no briefing.
Do you want to turn off the?
I think that was done for me. So is
You're
there
not
anything
using the
else
heat
that needs to
tonight.
come for us today?
No,
Before us today?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, turn it off.
Nothing from my
Christ
standpoint.
almighty.
Okay.
Don't bite my head off.
And I'm hearing
I
nothing
can't
from the
even believe
board.
you need it. It's just unbelievable.
So hearing none, I'm going to adjourn our business meeting.
All right, goodbye,
And,
Bruce.
for the last time, I'm going to adjourn our business meeting. And again, wish you folks luck, and I have great faith in the staff and the board to guide this agency, and I will look forward to working with you because I do firmly believe in public transit.
I'm sure you'll be
Thanks
around
for what
just
you
like
do all.
McFarland.
Have a good rest of the day.
They all waved, didn't they? Cute. End it with a picture of Ozzy. Come on. All right, goodbye to Bruce Warner. That's it, man. Adios to him. And I will no longer miss him. And that's it. I'm done too. Over now.